Yeah, my name is Nancy Yeri, and I'll be your host today as we continue this exciting week of hands-on learning and skill building. Please, you're reminded that as you're joining in, use only your first name, and please be reminded that be very respectful with your comments in the chat box. And as we go on, if you have any questions from the speaker, please put them in the Q&A section. So if you can see, we have the chat box and then we have the Q&A. So please be mindful of this. So as we continue to mark International Women's Day this month, the Bootcamp Week reflects our commitment to advancing inclusion in AI, right? And we are so proud to create space for young people like you, especially girls, to strengthen your technical skills and step confidently into leadership within emerging technologies. So first, I'd like to say a very big thank you to those who joined us yesterday and are back again today. You guys are the real MVPs. Before we dive in, here is a little teaser, okay? There's a very, very exciting opportunity that we'll be sharing at the end of the session today. And you definitely want to stay tuned and locked in to find out what it is. It's something you won't want to miss, guys. So please stay tuned. When the session is ended, do not go anywhere. You need to hear this. And today, I am very excited, and I'm sure you should be excited as well, that we are going to have this session, and we have a very special speaker, right? He's called Mr. Ajaz Ahmed. He's the founder of a billion-pound business, and he's an experienced non-executive and business advisor. He'll be sharing his expertise on what makes a good pitch. Guys, I cannot wait to learn from this. And because I am also like having my own social enterprise, and pitching is one of the most difficult things, even for us adults. So please make use of this session. He will also talk to us about how to communicate clearly with investors and make your ideas easy to understand. This is the most difficult part. He will make it easy for us. So as you join in, remember, please keep your comments very respectful in the chat session. And when you have any questions, please drop them in the Q&A chat box, and I'll be picking them up. After the presentation, I would bring up all your questions and have Mr. Ajaz respond to them, okay? So feel free to share your questions as we dive in, right? So over to you, Mr. Ajaz Ahmed. And thank you so much for making time to share with our teams.
Oh, you're welcome. It's an honor to be here. I've been looking at the people that have been joining from all over the world. I'm actually talking to you from England. In England, in Yorkshire, which is a great place to be, Yorkshire. And I'm the founder of a billion-pound internet company. And I want to share with you some of the things that you can do to make it better and easier to actually raise money in your pitch. During Freeserve, which is a billion-pound company, I had lots of people coming to see me, and I had to look at all sorts of pitches. And then after Freeserve, which we sold for 1.6 billion, since then I've spoken to many people who've been looking to raise money, and the people are making the same mistakes over and over again. So the lessons that I'm going to share with you today are based on the things that I've been seeing for the last 20 odd years. Next slide. So I call myself the chief provocateur of Cut the Crap. Now, what actually is a provocateur? It's a person who deliberately behaves controversially in order to provoke debate and other strong reactions. And this presentation is my Cut the Crap format. And my Cut the Crap format is a different sort of format because you've probably been to lots of presentations where people have put too much on the slides and they end up with their back towards the audience. So I thought I'll do something different. And this format is based on the lessons that I've learned from that. And being a provocateur is someone who can actually say things that maybe are a bit different And people remember those things that are different. Next slide. So my presentation today is called Improve Your Pitch. Next slide. So this is the format of my slides. Hardly anything on there, a white background, and just one, two, or three words, and that's it. So the first thing I want to share with you is that people shouldn't forget it's all about money. I meet people sometimes that start talking about all sorts of things, but they forget that if they're looking to raise money, the person that they're talking to, the only thing they're concerned about is money. And everything you talk about, you should think, does it actually talk about, are they going to be able to get their money back and things like that? So don't forget, at the end of the day, it's all about money. And that's something you should always remember. Next slide. Um, Really, it sounds quite awful, this, but you should never ever forget that no one cares about you. The only thing they care about is themselves. Uh, if you can help them get somewhere and actually make more money, that's fantastic. But they get to meet, the investors get to meet so many people, and they might be nice to you, but really they don't care about you at all. And you should never ever forget that. Next slide. The other thing is life isn't fair. Now, I'm the founder of a £1 billion company. But I met lots of people that also had great ideas, and they never got anywhere. And I also met people that had very, very poor ideas, and they really were very, very successful. And you might have some great ideas, but you then might get to meet people whose idea wasn't very good, and they've done very, very well. And you can probably think about all sorts of people that you've read about or you've met that have crap ideas. So something that you should always remember is life, unfortunately, isn't fair. I was lucky with my idea, and it was very, very successful. But there's lots of people out there that have got some fairly poor ideas and they've done very, very well. So life isn't fair. Next slide. Now, when you talk to people and you finished your pitch, what you're going to find is that all of a sudden, everyone's an expert. The person or the people on the other side who have just listened to your idea, all of a sudden they become an expert at the things that you talked about. Before you started your pitch, they didn't know anything about what you were talking about. But all of a sudden, people seem to become experts at something they don't actually know anything about. So everyone out there all of a sudden becomes an expert. Next slide. Now, if you do a presentation in front of someone, be prepared to be interrogated. Now, what that means is that in addition to everyone being an expert, they're going to start having a go at you. They're going to be interrogating you. And when you are preparing your presentation, think about the fact that you're going to be interrogated. It's actually very, very hard. And if you've never done it before, you're going to find it intimidating. It's something that you should always think about. You are going to be interrogated. And if you're not prepared to be interrogated, then you're going to find this whole thing very, very difficult, and you may not be successful in raising the money that you're looking to raise. So practice it. You are going to be interrogated because the people on the other side are people that you're asking to part with their hard-earned money, and they're not going to do that without interrogating you first. I've done it, and lots of people that I know, they also do it as well. And when I wanted to raise money, I was interrogated as well. So be prepared to be interrogated. Never ever forget that. Next slide. Um, Unfortunately, not every idea that people come up with is very good. Now, most of the ideas that I get to see, unfortunately, are not very good. Now, and this is called ugly baby syndrome. Now, just imagine that a couple have just had a baby and they're in love with their baby. And then you go to visit the couple to congratulate them on their baby. When you get there, you look at the baby and you think, oh shit, that's ugly, isn't it? What do? Well, you lie and you say, oh, he's really cute, isn't he? It looks like you. or things like that. And you actually lie and you tell them that they've got a great baby. Well, in business, unfortunately, you can't do that. The idea that you've got, that is your baby, and you're going to be in love with your baby, regardless if it's any good or not. Well, in business, the person's going to tell you it's not very good if it's not very good. But you might find that extremely hurtful because you're in love with your baby. I meet so many people that have got crap ideas, and the reason they carry on trying to make it successful is because nobody's ever told them it's a crap idea. The only people they talk to are the people that have got a vested interest, maybe their parents, maybe their friends, uh, and none of those people are going to tell you that it's actually an awful idea. Now, in the UK and America, I mean, other countries around the world, you've got talent shows like The X Factor, or in this country, Britain's Got Talent, and things like that. And there's examples of that on these talent shows. People go on there thinking they can sing, for instance, and the experts on the panel have to tell them they can't sing. And they seem to get actually very upset by that. And the reason they get upset is nobody's ever told them that you can't sing. Well, unfortunately, not every idea that people have is actually a good, successful idea. And unfortunately, maybe 90% of the ideas that I get to see are actually not very good ideas. And that's called ugly baby syndrome. So don't forget that. Not every idea is a good idea. And the best thing you can do is talk to people that haven't got a vested interest, and they may tell you if you've got a great baby or an ugly baby. Next slide. One of the things you need to remember is that people have very, very short attention spans. They actually lose interest very, very quickly. So unless you can do things in a way that are going to keep their attention, they're going to be start to think about where they're going to go tonight, what they're going to eat tonight, where they're going to go tomorrow, the emails that they've got to send, all the while you stood up there talking, they've actually lost interest. People have got very, very short attention spans. And hopefully I've managed to keep your attention. But if I didn't do this in a good way, you'd have a short attention span as well, and you'd start thinking about other things as well. But hopefully, I've kept your attention, and you starting to think about some of the things that I said. So don't forget, people have got very, very short attention spans. Next slide. Um, when you're doing a presentation, you've got to put yourselves in their shoes. You're the one that's making the presentation. You're the one that's actually talking. But you've got to think to yourself, if I was on the other side, how would I react to this? What would I be thinking? Put yourself in their shoes. Because if you don't do that, then you probably end up saying the wrong things and showing things in the wrong way. Think about this very, very carefully. Put yourselves in their shoes. So if you can do that, you'll hopefully won't make the same mistakes that lots of other people make. Put yourselves in the shoes of the people listening to you. Next slide. Um, you've only got seconds to make an impression. Seconds. And the impression that you're making is everything from the way you dress, the way you walk in, the way you shake hands, the way you talk, the way your slides look. You only have seconds to make an impression. And that's why big companies understand that, and they make sure that their advertising, their presentations, everything is designed to capture the people's attention very, very quickly. You only have seconds to make an impression. And I don't know what you thought of me when you saw my first slide that said, cut the crap. But hopefully, I've managed to change your impression of me. And that's because I work very, very hard at getting the message across. And you only have seconds to make an impression, seconds. So think about that very, very carefully. Next slide. Now, this is quite obvious, really. Tell them what you're going to tell them. Now, What do I mean by this? Um, if you've done a few presentations, you'll find that the people who are asking questions at the end are all going to be asking the same question. So rather than wait for them to ask you those questions, tell them before they ask you. You'll find that it'll save you so much time, and it means that you can spend time on talking about what you're doing rather than telling them the same old things. Now, what are the things that people ask that the person doing the presentation doesn't talk about? Well, people ask things like, so what are your sales going to be in 5 years' time? What's your profit margin? Simple things like that. And the reason they ask those questions is because you haven't told them. So simple as that. You start talking about all sorts of things that aren't relevant rather than talk about the things that the person wants to know. If you put yourselves in their shoes, what are they going to be asking? So tell them before you actually um, tell them. Tell them what you're going to tell them right at the beginning or during the presentation. Don't wait for them to actually ask you those simple questions. So tell them what you're going to tell them before they ask it. Now, keep it simple. This is a big, big mistake that people make. This presentation is designed to be very, very simple. It's got no sort of content in the background. It's just got simple, simple things on there. Keep it simple. Too many of the questions, too many of the presentations that I see is full of rubbish, full of things that aren't relevant. They've got slides on there with, graphs with pictures and things like that. It just isn't relevant. So keep it very, very simple. And by doing that, you'll capture their attention. Next slide. Good design. Good design is very, very important. And if you've got good design, you've more chance of getting your message across than poor design. Now, my presentation is designed in a way that has got good design. It's got the right font on it and things like that. My logo, cut the crap, I use in different formats and different things. It's very, very good. I've got it on my business card. No nonsense thinking. I got designers to do all that. I didn't do it myself, but the format I designed myself. So good design makes a big, big difference. And if you have to talk to a professional designer to help you do that, then do that because good design makes a big, big difference to the way you present your presentation. Next slide. Use fewer words. It's very, very important, this one. I get to see so many presentations that have got so many words that aren't relevant. If you take away that words that aren't relevant, you'll get the message across quicker and easier. So look at the things that you write and think to yourself, well, what words can I actually take away? And this presentation is a great example of using fewer words, isn't it? If you use fewer words, you'll get the message across in a lot easier way. So use fewer words and you'll do so much better. Next slide. Now, this is one of the things I hate, acronyms. People start using acronyms without thinking, does the person that I'm talking to actually understand what I'm saying? Now, I'm the founder of an internet service provider, an ISP, but I never say to anybody I'm the founder of an ISP because the chances are people don't know what I'm talking about. So the first time I say it, I say that I'm the founder of an internet service provider, and then I say ISP. And then all the time, then I can use the word ISP because I've explained what it is. I get people talking about EBITDA without thinking, what the hell is EBITDA? People don't actually know what it is unless you tell them what you mean by EBITDA. Had someone in a presentation once talking about a unicorn, and during the break, I asked the people in the audience, "Do you know what a unicorn is?" And everyone said no. So why use words like unicorn? Unicorn actually means a company that's gone from startup to £1 billion. So I'm actually the founder of a unicorn, but I would never say the word unicorn because I can't assume that the person that I'm talking to actually knows what a unicorn is. And there's many, many other words, acronyms that people use without thinking, does the person actually know what I'm talking about? So don't use acronyms, stop it. Start using simple words that people might understand. Don't assume that they know what you're talking about unless you explain it to them at the beginning. Next slide. Um, get things in the right order. Now, what do I mean by that? I listen to presentations, and maybe the second or third slide is the people that's involved in the organization. Well, do you know what? I don't care because you haven't told me about your idea. So if you want to tell me about the people that are involved in the organization, put that at the end. Get the things in the right order. You stood in front of people looking to raise money, and they want to know what it is you're doing. They want to know about other things that are more important. So get things in the right order. Think about, as I said to you at the beginning, think about getting things in the right order so that if you put yourselves in the other person's shoes, then you might get this right. So get things in the right order. Things that aren't relevant, put that at the back. Think about how you're going to get them excited. So do things in the right order. Next slide. Um, Answer the question before you ask. I've actually covered this, so next slide. Now, when you're talking to people, what's talk about what the problem is. Again, I meet so many people that talk about what they're doing, but they don't actually talk about what the problem is. Talk about what the problem is, not what the technology is or anything like that. What is the problem that you're actually going to solve? Next slide. Once you've told them what the problem is, tell them how you're going to fix the problem. Now, these two slides sound so simple, don't they? Sound so obvious. You're probably wondering why I'm even saying it. It's because time and time again, people are pitching to me and they don't actually tell me what the problem is and they don't tell me how they're actually fixing the problem. They start talking about all sorts of things that aren't relevant. Think about it. If you want to raise hundreds of thousands of pounds or millions of pounds, talk about what the actual problem is, how you can actually fix the problem. Next slide. Now, the biggest reason why companies don't succeed is because they've underestimated how hard it is to acquire the customer. It's the single biggest reason why companies don't succeed because they don't know how they're going to acquire the customer. So if you're doing a pitch, if you're looking to raise money, talk about how you're going to acquire the customer. In my case, Freeserve, it was actually the easiest thing. And the reason it was the easiest thing is because the company that I worked with has had 1,000 retail stores up and down the country. So people walking to our stores, picking up CDs, going onto the internet and becoming customers of Freeserve. But many, many people underestimate how difficult it is to acquire the customer. So if you don't talk about how you're going to acquire the customer, it doesn't matter how good your idea is, um, people aren't going to be interested. Now, what do I mean by acquiring the customer? How are you going to acquire the customer? Well, in my case, it was very simple, but other people have to partner with people. Some people have to go on the internet and do things on social media. Other people have to advertise. It doesn't matter. Many ways of acquiring the customer. But if you don't actually come up with a way of acquiring customers, then unfortunately your idea is not going to succeed. And if you talk to friends that you may have that have already got business and you ask them how business is, then they'll tell you sometimes that actually it's very, very tough out there because I can't acquire customers. So it doesn't matter how good your idea is, if you haven't got a way of actually acquiring the customer, then it's not going to work. Next slide. Pivot. Now, pivot means changing direction. And if you've been working on trying to uh, raise money for your idea and it's not working, then don't carry on doing the same thing. Change direction, maybe change your idea, change the way you're actually trying to raise money, change the market that you're going for. But don't carry on doing the same thing over and over again because you're just wasting time. So pivot. It's very, very important. And if you do that, then you never know, you might actually be successful. Thank you. Next slide. That's it. Hopefully you've learned something from what we talked about at the beginning, which is about raising money and how to actually improve the way you pitch your idea. Now, this is a QR code. If anybody wants to look me up on LinkedIn, feel free to get your camera out and go to my LinkedIn page, and I'll be happy to talk to anybody. They can leave me questions. They can connect with me on there. So thank you for listening today. And has anybody got any questions?
Thank you very much, Mr. Ajaz Ahmed. A round of applause. I can see the applause already coming up. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
making time for the teams.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
You
as
know,
you
it's
can,
actually very difficult. I normally am talking to a live audience, but here, people all over the world, it's actually very, very difficult.
yeah. Yes, you have people from all over the world. I saw people from South Africa, from Turkey. They are from all over the world.
Mm,
Yeah, and thank you so much. So feel free to still bring in your questions. I have a few questions that I will be sharing. Keep your questions coming, and then I will share them with Mr. Ajaz Ahmed. Thank you so much. I have taken a lot of notes myself because, like I said, pitching is one of the most tricky things to do if you need money for your idea. And so I
mm.
picked quite a good number of points there for myself, and I'm sure the young people also have. And so keep your questions coming. Um, and one of the key things that I picked up was the ugly baby syndrome.
Mm,
Nobody ever tells you how your what your idea is, whether it's good or it's bad. And so that was a really good tip for us
mm.
and keeping us tuned right there. Okay,
Yeah.
so I will start with the first question. So first of all, Mr. Ahmed, when you were starting out, I mean, you have told us, you mentioned a couple of times instances where you had to do one or two, but just to give an overall view of when you were starting, how did you really convince people to believe in your idea?
Mm. Well,
Before you had
yeah.
proof that it would work. Hmm.
Yeah, well, luckily I'm a retailer. I'm not a technologist, even though I'm the
Okay.
founder of a big internet company. I'm a
Mm-hmm.
retailer, and retailers are very good at getting a message across to the customer. And when I first went to the managing director of the company that I worked with, um, the managing director said, "No, not interested. Let's just focus on opening more shops." And then I eventually managed to get through to the group CEO of the whole group. And I told him about my idea. And it must have been that I presented it in a simple way, in a way that he understood. Because you got to remember in 1998, when Freeserve started, there was hardly anybody on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
Microsoft did not bundle a browser with Windows. That's how few people there was on the internet. Nobody had an email address.
Mm-hmm.
What I was saying was, in the future, everyone is going to want to get onto the internet. So I must have said it in a way that he understood, because he was a retailer as well. And if I'd have done the things that a lot of the people do when they come and talk to me, start talking in technical language and have all sorts of graphs on there, and he wouldn't have said yes. So I did it in a simple way because I'm a retailer, and retailers are very good at getting the message across because they think like the customer.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you very much for that. I hope the teams are taking notes. Just to follow up on that, so I have a question here that's saying that what was the thought process? What was your thought process and how did it mature and evolve to become $1 million company? So when you were starting the ISP, the
Mm,
internet service provider
mm,
company that you're running today, what was
mm.
your thought process like? And how did it really mature and evolve to become $1 billion company?
Um, well, Freeserve, it started at the right time.
Mm,
Very, very few people on the internet, and on all of a sudden, um, lots and lots of people started to go on the internet, and the dot-com boom started. And the dot-com boom was a great time. Uh,
mm,
the companies that you're now very familiar with, like Google, and other companies like that, they started at the same time. And the whole world was going internet crazy. So the timing was right. But the actual business model was very, very good. Everyone could understand it. Very, very good. And in those days, the way to get onto the internet was dial-up. You you got your cable and you plugged it into the phone line, and the actual the modem connected you to the internet. And
mm,
our service was free.
mhm,
Didn't charge a penny. So how do you make money by giving something away for free? Well, it's very simple. When you dialed onto the internet, you paid a local rate phone call, and we got a fraction of a penny from every single minute from British Telecom. But we were generating 1.5 billion minutes a month. So a fraction of a penny from 1.5 billion minutes equals an awful lot of money. And
mm.
that's why people got excited by Freeserve, and that's how we became a £1 billion company.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Ahmed. Um, and I have another question here.
Mm,
So when you were talking to top tier companies, um, how was your experience? And the young person here is trying to find out what do you think needs to be done to make them happy? I mean, you have said a lot about ensuring that you use fewer words.
mm,
You should be ready to be interrogated. You should
mm,
make sure that you understand that these people are not interested in you, but they are actually interested in how your idea will bring them money.
mm.
Um, and so, what generally this person is asking is,
Yeah.
what do you really do to make them happy?
Well, really, the formula is in the presentation.
Mhm,
Um, there's no magic. Um, everyone is a person like you. You've got to put yourselves in their shoes and think, if I was being asked to actually, invest money, um, what are the simple things that they're going to want to know? Uh, People talk about all sorts of rubbish. Stop talking about all that rubbish and talk about the things that are going to interest them, the things that are going to make them say, yeah, I like this idea. I'm going to do it. Maybe practice with people that have got nothing to do with it and see what they say, but keep it simple and get the message across in a way that people are going to understand. And it's as simple as that, really. Maybe you have, a document full of all sorts of things that you might want to include. And if someone says, I want to know about this, just say, yeah, I've got that information. There you go. You can read it later if you want. But think about the things that they are going to ask, and that's it, really.
Okay, thank you very much. I want to encourage all of you on the webinar today. Please keep your questions coming in and please put your questions in the Q&A chat, okay? This is how it will be easy to pick up your questions. Keep your questions in the Q&A chat and not in the webinar chat, okay? Um, the next question is, so You have mentioned already that you have sat in and watched people, especially young people, pitch in your experience. What is one of the things that you have probably witnessed young people underestimate about pitching? You have said a lot already, but can you help young people understand what are some of the key mistakes to avoid when they are pitching?
Yeah, I think confidence. Confidence is very difficult because if you've not had experience, then of course you're going to go on the stage and not sound confident. Practice talking to people, practice the words that you use, and then when you get to the audience that are actually looking at investing in businesses, then you're going to sound better. So don't go on to the platform and don't sound confident. You've got to sound confident, and the only way you can do that is practice. Practice as many times as you can. I met someone yesterday, and I said to him, "Your handshake's not very good, is it?" And he said, "Yeah, other people have told me that." And I said, "Well, why don't you change it then? If you have to get a rubber ball and press it, then do it." Look confident, sound confident, and practice it as many times as you can. And if you practice it many, many times, then you'll get better at it. Um, Practice the way you actually talk, the way you project your voice. That will make you sound more confident. So if you can improve that, then you'll do better.
Thank you very much. I can see the claps there. So keep your questions coming. I have really interesting questions for you, Mr. Ahmed.
Yeah.
Um, so the question here, and I can understand this person. How did you become so successful? Sometimes it's really difficult
It
to
is.
connect with founders like you and really understand.
Yeah.
And I'm sure in the minds of all the participants here on the call today, it's like, how did you become so successful? Like you said, it's not magic, but there must be something you did differently. Because the question is like, how was it? Is it because you studied at school or what? What was
Hmm.
the
Well, okay, I've got something interesting to tell you.
okay?
I actually failed all my exams at school.
Hmm.
I left school with nothing. And interesting now, I actually sit on the board of a university. Um, I'm giving a talk here, but actually most of the time that I give talks are at business events and at universities. Universities all over the world ask me to come and give talks. And the reason they asked me to do that is because of the fact that I've been successful. But after I left school, I started to study other people. I started to read business magazines. I started to read newspapers that were, for a different level to me. And when I became successful, I found that I could actually talk to people at a different level, people that I didn't normally talk to, because I'd been actually reading about people. I'd been um, looking at things on the television, whereas my other friends, they were doing different things. They never ever even thought that they were going to be successful, so they abandoned it. They said, right, okay, fine. I'm not going to read Fortune. I'm not going to read Forbes. I'm not going to read the business articles in, things like the Times. And that's why they're still doing the jobs that they're doing. Whereas I actually assumed that I was going to be successful, and I sort of took that role on at an early age. And that's the way to do it. It's not going to come to you. It's something that you're going to have to work at, and also try and get to talking to successful people as often as you can. And if you do that, then it'll become easier for you to do that. I've met so many um, successful people. I've met film stars. I've met sports stars. I've met King Charles 5 times.
Hmm.
And I've been invited to see him again on a sixth time. I met the President of the United States. I've met George Bush. I met
Mm,
the Prime Minister of the UK. I met him twice. I've met all sorts of people, and you've got to sound like you're confident, you know. Uh,
mm.
and that's something. It's easy to say. It's something that you have to practice and assume that you're going to be successful at a young age.
Wow. Thank you so much for that wonderful response. And I think that this is really a very insightful response that you have given
Mhm.
because
Thank you.
one thing that's maybe the teams on this platform would be thinking about is it all about school? And you can see here right now that yes, you have to be in school, yes, you have to study, but then it's all about your conviction, your the what you pursue, like what you believe in and how you push what you believe in. Thank
Yeah.
you so much, Mr. Ahmed.
Mm,
And it's really wonderful that at this point, these young people are listening to you because you already gave the advice that they should talk to people who are already successful. And so
mm,
this is a great opportunity for you to interact with people who are successful.
yeah.
I was going to say if I were you young people, but I
Mm,
am also going to, dig deep into YouTube videos
yeah.
and already start
Yeah.
looking at what successful people are doing out there. So,
Yeah. When I normally give my cut the crap talk, it's a different topic. It's about business lessons, whereas today I've been talking about, improving your pitch.
mm,
And in my normal cut the crap talk, one of the lessons is life's about who you know.
yeah.
It makes a big, big difference if you know people and you can contact them. So try and work hard at getting to know as many, many successful people as you can,
Mm,
as many business people as you can, and it makes a big, big difference. And if you can put their contact details in your phone, and when you need something, you can contact those people straight away. It makes a big, big difference. And the people that I normally talk to are the people already in business.
mm,
And lessons like go out there and network,
mm,
go to an event, talk to people. I go to networking events, and far too many people stand in the same spot all the time
mm,
with something in their hand and they just stand there. If you go to a networking event, walk around and just walk up to people and say, hello, shake their hand. So what do you do? And you'll get to know people that way.
mm.
Life is about who you know. Makes a big, big difference in life.
Wow. Wow. Life is about who you know, and it makes a big, big, big difference in life. Thank you so much, Mr. Ahmed. Keep your
Pleasure.
questions coming.
Mm,
Um, um, keep your questions coming. Please do not leave. We have some wonderful news coming up. I mentioned earlier, we have something really, really exciting for you. So stay tuned. I have a few more questions for you.
yeah.
Um, so someone is asking, um, who would you thank? Who would you say thank you to for coming all this way?
It's a good question. Who would I thank? All the poor people that I've worked with. I've worked with some people that are crap managers, and I would thank them because I learned a lot from them about how not to do things. And I met lots of poor managers in my time,
Mm,
and you learn a lot from people. And I would thank those people. You taught me how not to do things,
mm,
you know?
wow.
Yeah. Because in retail, you meet lots of people that are narcissists and things like that and don't do things the right way. I learned a lot from those people.
Wow.
Mm.
Okay, thank you very much. A few more questions. So this one is more AI related.
Mm.
So the question is, what are the best ways you think to start an AI education academy, an AI education academy, and
Mm.
how to pitch it?
I don't know.
Okay.
I'll be honest, I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't know enough about AI.
Hmm.
AI is something that is slowly crept upon us. It's everywhere.
Hmm.
But it's not a magic piece of software.
Hmm.
Wherever I go, people start using the word AI in the conversation. Um, I don't know.
Hmm.
It's as simple as that. All I know is that you can do so many things with it.
Hmm.
People that are going to be successful are the ones that will figure out how to use AI in tasks that are actually quite boring. Things that are very, very simple, things that maybe aren't glamorous. And those people might be very, very successful at it. Not the ones that look very sexy, but the ones that are very boring. Boutique, boutique, and meaning that it's a particular sector, and that's it. Um, but I don't know because if I had a great AI idea, I'd be doing it now,
Hmm.
but I'm not. But my phone is doing all sorts of things using AI already, isn't it? I
Yeah.
write things and all of a sudden it suggests what the next word should be. So we're using AI in a great, great way, but it's other people that are making the money from it.
Hmm.
I wish I could come up with a great AI idea.
Yeah.
Mm,
Thank you very much, Mr. Ahmed. And so, to the person who asked the question, just keep the tips that he shared during the presentation, and I'm sure you'll be able to start the best AI academy, education
mm.
academy in the world, right?
I hope
Um,
so.
yes. I have two more questions and then we'll wrap up. Please stay tuned for this exciting news that I talked about earlier. So the next question is back to your presentation on pitching. What are some of the techniques to keep everyone's attention on you? So you have already talked about being brief with your presentations, making sure that because people have a short attention span, and so you need to keep, your information, your pitch very brief. And you gave other insights as well, but you also talked about confidence for
Mm,
someone who may have a great idea, but starting off not too confident, what are some of the techniques you would advise them to keep in mind so that when they're doing their pitches, everyone's attention can be on
mm. Well, one of the things that I learned from uh, actors is be able to project your voice.
them?
It's not actually very hard. All you've got to do is talk in a way that projects your voice. Um, that makes you sound more confident. Dress in the right way. Make it sound like you actually know what you're talking about. I've met lots of people that actually don't sound as if they know what they're talking about, yet they're asking you to part with, lots of money. Um, One of the things I've also learned is that people come and pitch the idea, and then they have to leave the room, and the people in the room are experienced business people, and then
Mhm.
they talk about the idea. It's actually very hard to talk to people that are experienced business people because they can see through people.
Mhm.
They can tell when someone's bullshitting. They can tell when someone's got an idea that's not very good.
Mhm.
Um, so, you've just got to sound confident. You've got to be able to project your voice. You've got to actually know what you're talking about. Because if you don't, experienced people, business people, will be able to see right through you. You won't get away with it. And really, one of the things you've always got to think about is ugly baby syndrome. You
Mhm.
can't con experienced business people. Maybe
Mhm.
you have got a poor idea and stop wasting your time and move on to something else. Far too many people carry on trying to raise money with crap ideas. So try and find out if the idea is actually any good or not. And if it isn't, move on.
Yeah.
Move to the next thing. You never know. You might have another great idea, eureka moment in a week's time. Who knows? But far too many people have got things and they've lost a fortune, but they don't
Yeah.
stop because
Mm.
it's their baby.
Mm.
You
Thank-
know, get
Yeah.
another baby.
Get another baby.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Mr.
Mm.
Ahmed. My final question
Yeah.
is this young person wants to know what are some of the challenges that you have encountered
Mm.
and how were you able to overcome them?
Well, the challenges that I think one of the biggest challenges is people do make their mind up about you very, very quickly. I'm an immigrant in this country. I wasn't born in England. I was born in Pakistan.
Mhm.
And sometimes people make their mind up about me before I've even spoken.
Mm.
And I've got to be able to um, overcome that. And I've got to be able to talk in a way that they think, actually, no, this guy knows what he's talking about. This guy isn't this, immigrant from Pakistan that I thought he was. He actually knows what he's talking about, and he's on the right level. Yeah, he's the sort of guy that I think I should, become a friend of. Don't put yourself down. Um,
Mm.
and Because if I can do it, you can do it as well.
Wow. If he can do it, you can do it as well. It also answers a question that I just saw as well. That how did you get successful in your homeland or in the UK? And this answers
In the
perfectly
UK, yeah,
here in the
I
UK.
actually, I actually came to the UK when I was 3 years old, so I'm virtually born and bred here. But I never forget, I'm not actually English.
Wow.
Sometimes people don't let you forget that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
So, I'm not British. I'm from Pakistan.
Wow. Thank you so much, Mr. Ajaz Ahmed. He already mentioned earlier on, you can follow him on LinkedIn. So he shared his code earlier on. Please find him on LinkedIn, follow him, and get inspired more. Okay?
Yeah, I don't actually write too much on LinkedIn.
Mm-hmm.
People use LinkedIn as a social media. They talk about where they've been, about who they've met, and things like that. I write occasionally about articles and things like that, but I don't write about who I've spoken to or who I've met and things like that. But it's a great LinkedIn is actually a great tool for looking up people that you've met or people that you want to know more about. It's a very great tool. And it's something that I would suggest everyone join and use. It's not
Okay.
Facebook.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Ajaz Ahmed. So, for all of you who came probably in on the call late, or just a reminder, Mr. Ajaz Ahmed is the founder of a billion-pound business, and he has been with us. He's been talking to us about pitching, and we've had a very wonderful time with him. Thank you so much for making time
No,
to
thank you.
inspire the young people on the call. I have been totally inspired and I'm taking away a lot of good nuggets on
Good.
how to pitch. Yeah, so thank you so much.
No
For
problem.
all of you please stay on the call. I'm going to share some exciting news in a bit. Let's give Mr.
Yeah,
Ahmed
I can't wait to
Ajaz.
hear this exciting news.
You want to hear the exciting news?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, so
definitely.
stay on. But thank you so much. A round of applause for him. Um, Everyone, thank you so much. So now to the exciting news that I have. Are you ready? So to all our young people on this call today, as I bring this session to an end, which has been super insightful, we have a very exciting offer for every single person on this call and those watching us live. So you now have the opportunity to access the AI Adventures All Access package. with just 25% off. So if you sign up between now and a week from today, this package gives you limitless access to a variety of courses covering AI, technology, and innovation, right? So it allows you to build more, expand your knowledge, and even allows you to earn certifications across different areas. How exciting is this, guys? So please use the barcode you see on the screen. I hope you can see the barcode on your screen now to claim your discount. Remember, you have from now till a week from today, right? So you can take a screenshot now, quickly take a screenshot, or you make a note to redeem your offer. So just giving you a few seconds, take a screenshot and or make a note so that you can redeem your offer, right? So thank you so much for joining in, all of you. It's been really exciting having you on the call. Please remember that Bootcamp week continues tomorrow. Try and join in again tomorrow. Invite your friends to join in again tomorrow. We'll be having more sessions full of learning and inspiration. Please stay curious, keep building, and we look forward to seeing you back for the next session. I have been your host, Nancy Yeri. See you tomorrow. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. Bye.